So San Diego Comic-Con happened recently, and I want to take a quick video and talk about all of the upcoming MCU projects, because I just reviewed Deadpool and Wolverine, and I thought it was really good. And despite me hating pretty much everything that comes out of Disney, I've surprisingly enjoyed most of the things that have come out of the MCU. Again, things like She-Hulk and the Marvels I wasn't really high on. In fact, She-Hulk I couldn't even finish. But generally, I've liked what they've put out, especially their films. I've even liked ones that a lot of other people didn't, like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania I thought was decent. The Marvels, again, wasn't very good, but I didn't think it was an important trash fire. I just thought it was just mediocre, and I really haven't thought about the movie much since. It's just very forgettable. But a lot of these movies I'm actually kind of excited for. Not all of them. Some of them I'm kind of on the fence on, and some of them I'm just saying, do you even bother releasing this at this point? So, let's go over them. The first thing I'm going to talk about, I'll talk about the rest of these in order, but first I want to talk about Robert Downey Jr. returning as Victor Von Doom. Well, returning to the MCU, and will be portraying Victor Von Doom. Now, of course, everybody's bitched about this, talking about how it's a desperation move by Marvel, and while I kind of agree, think it's kind of a desperation move to get people back into the franchise because, well, its heyday was when Robert Downey Jr. was leading the charge, I don't think he would have come back, and Feige wouldn't have brought him back unless they had something really good planned. And considering the way the Russos, who directed Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, so their track record is pretty good, and it will also be written by Stephen McFeely, who wrote all of those films, as well as First Avenger. Whether or not Christopher Marcus will also be returning to write has not been confirmed, but at least one of the writers will be returning. So the writer and directors for some of the best superhero films we've ever gotten are writing both Doomsday and Secret War, so that leaves me with quite a bit of optimism. But again, the way they described it seems like they're going the multiverse aspect, where essentially this Victor Von Doom would be if Tony Stark didn't have a heart. Because that was the entire arc of Tony's character, was Tony Stark has a heart. Now we're kind of going in the opposite direction with Victor Von Doom. And I think this can really work. Robert Downey Jr. is a fantastic actor, so I think he can bring quite a bit to this role. And I would honestly love to see his interactions with the characters who did know Tony Stark, like the Avengers that are left, like Spider-Man, or Hawkeye, or Black Panther, the ones who knew him. Or War Machine. I think that could be very interesting if they do it right. And I honestly believe that these movies will be very good. Will they be as good as Infinity War or Endgame? It's hard to say, but I'm looking forward to these. And by the way, there are 3 movies that are coming out in both 2026 and 2027, the year these come out, similar to what happened with Infinity War and Endgame, where when Infinity War came out, we also got Ant-Man and the Wasp and Black Panther, and when Endgame came out, we also had Captain Marvel and Spider-Man Far From Home. So this isn't anything new. Now, we're getting 4 films next year, which, again, kind of feels like a repeat of 2021. But again, this wouldn't be happening if these movies didn't keep getting pushed back. Honestly, I don't think they should have pushed back Captain America. I think they should have put it for like a November release or something and just dealt with it. Although it doesn't help that this movie apparently has a huge budget because they pretty much reshot the entire thing. Yeah, this is basically a repeat of what happened with Solo. And contrary to what most people say, I like Solo, so maybe this can still be good. I really enjoyed the trailer. I think this could be a very good film, but I'm pulling back a bit because I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. I think it can be really good, and it looks pretty good, but we'll never know. Well, we won't know until the movie comes out. Then there's Thunderbolts, which I don't know what to think. It could be good. I honestly could care less about this movie because, honestly, it just kind of feels like a waste of time. It feels like when the DCEU wasted time with Suicide Squad when they needed to be using solo films to build up Justice League. I feel like instead you could put something, maybe this is another build-up for Doomsday as well, but I don't know. This one I'm cautiously optimistic for, and like legitimately cautiously optimistic for. Then there's Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, the only thing that's holding me back on this one is Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Not only do I not like Pedro Pascal, that just seemed like a really weird casting choice. I know they took forever trying to get somebody to say yes to the role, or maybe I don't know if that's actually the case, or if they were just trying to find the perfect guy for the role. But Pascal? Really? Like, I know I take fan casts with a grain of salt, because most of them are just repeating the same goddamn actor. Like, I saw a post from somebody I actually follow on Instagram, Josiah Rises, but he said, but for Doctor Doom, it's like, oh, Henry Cavill would have been perfect for Doctor Doom. It's like, this guy doesn't need to be fan casted in every role. I like Henry Cavill, but as Doom? No. But Pascal was, like, the last person I would have thought for this role. Now, maybe he'll be great in the role. I don't know. But I think the rest of the casting is pretty good. I honestly would have gone with Zac Efron as Human Torch. He was kind of my pick for it. But Joseph Quinn seems like he'll do the role pretty good. The other two, don't really know much about him, but I'm holding out hope that this can be the first good Fantastic Four film. And then there's Blade. Something that has been pushed back many, many times. I think this was actually supposed to come out in 2021, and now it's coming out in late 2025. Yeah, because they couldn't get a script they liked, they kept losing directors, Mahershala Ali was debating dropping out for a while, so I don't know what to think of this. It was cool seeing Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine, but this is an entirely new Blade, so hopefully it's good. I don't care I know some people are going to bitch that if it doesn't get an R rating, but honestly, I could give less of a shit about the MPA ratings. Make your movie PG-13, make your movie R, I don't give a shit as long as it's good. So, that's all we've gotten for the movie updates. Now, there are a couple of shows that are coming out, like the Agatha show, which they changed the title to Agatha all along. It's like, really? You had like 3 other titles that were way better, and that's what you went with? But, whatever. Apparently, there's a Scarlet Witch movie still in development. A lot of the movies in 2026 and 2027, those are apparently going to be ones like Spider-Man 4, Shang-Chi 2, Doctor Strange 3. I'm optimistic about phases 5 and 6, because phase 4 people bitched about phase 4, but I think phase 4 was still decent. Phase 5 has been decent as well. Again, I haven't seen all the stuff phase 5 put out, like I still haven't seen Echo, but I liked Guardians, I liked Ant-Man, I like Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think I like Captain America, and I could like Thunderbolts, so we don't know yet. But Phase 6 is shaping up to be the MCU's big renaissance. Like, if you consider Phase 5 to be the dark age of the MCU, which I really don't, because again, I've liked most of the stuff they've put out, Phase 6 could be, like, kicking it back into full gear, and apparently Kevin Feige's fired a lot of the woke activists who work at Marvel, so it already seems like they're taking even bigger steps in the right direction to getting Marvel back to where it was back in 2019, when they were producing a billion-dollar movie twice a year. So, yeah, that's all I got. What do you guys think of these announcements? I know plenty of people are going to bitch about these announcements, but honestly, I think most of these films are going to be pretty damn good. So that's all I got, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.